Remember when they called him King Kong? He used to be called King Kong. I miss when he was King Kong. Anyways, Godzilla vs Kong spoiler review. There's a moment when Kong is sitting on a throne with a literal Godzilla spike on a stick axe. And I was like, someone call him King Kong. So I have mixed feelings about this movie. Positives first. I love the Tokyo fight. That fight was interesting. It was cool looking. It wasn't great looking, but I liked the setting. The setting of these neon buildings and they're fighting in there. That clash was great. Oh, great. It was good. But what I really like about it, and probably my favorite positive to this whole movie, is there's a winner. You remember all the versus movies? There's never a winner. Freddy versus Jason, Freddy won. But everyone's like, oh no, Jason won because some dumb bitch walks up there and goes, like, burn in hell or something. Or welcome to my world, bitch, whatever. And she lights the dock on fire, blows him up, and then Jason comes and hacks his head off. Cheating. You cheated. Human interference. I call foul. Done. Boom. Freddy won. Alien versus Predator. Them aliens would have won. Them aliens won. But of course, someone had to interfere. And woman walks in, woman explorer, and she saves the Predator's life. And the human being and the woman... The human being and the woman... The human and the Predator win. So they're like, oh, Predator won. No, you didn't. Alien won. You cheated. So, two versus movies are very famous where someone cheats to win. Surprisingly enough, even though King Kong is built up as the protagonist this whole movie, he loses the fight. It was 3 rounds. It's like UFC. Godzilla won round 1. King Kong, someone even says it. Round 2 goes to Kong. He won round 2. And round 3 was won by Godzilla, which is like a 5-second round. Godzilla wins. Round of applause, no human interference. Godzilla won. And they built up that trailer saying, oh, look at that, King Kong's going to win. Godzilla won. Love that. I love that he had a winner. But then he did, of course, what you knew was going to happen. They're going to tag team, handicap match against Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla looked awful. So, that fight I liked a lot too. That might be my favorite fight actually, is just them two versus Mechagodzilla. So, biggest positives, fights, and there's a winner. Human characters aren't that annoying. Not like King of the Monsters where they're super annoying. And, yeah. There's positives. Negatives. I remember when movies used to be directed with style, even if they're big budget. You remember Godzilla 2014? That guy directed it, Gareth Edwards, I think his name is, with some style. There was some gravitas and impact to the size of these creatures as you looked from the visual perspective of a small person looking up at these monster things. There were teases. It was like a horror movie, teasing these giant things coming. It was great, and it led to such great build-up. The build-up led to such a great fight at the end, but it only mattered because it had such powerful build-up. It was directed with some style. That's some good directing right there. And this movie is just, you don't care about the size of these things anymore. And it's because the director doesn't care. There's no weight to these things. They're just video game monsters. And I don't like that. If you ever play War of the Monsters, great game. But that's what I kept thinking about watching this movie. I'm like, these are just the monsters from the PlayStation 2 game, War of the Monsters. And I just wish that, I think Reptar and Kongor, they're the Godzilla and the King Kong of that game. I just wish that Adam Wingard, a guy who made The Guest, one of my favorite movies of all time, probably my top 10 favorite movies, with such visual style, had some, I don't know, a moment of clarity and say, hey, let me put some good directing, some good style, some good tension. That movie is great with suspense. Why can't you put that suspense here? So I hated that. It just felt very studio made. It felt very just generic, off-the-shelf studio monster movie. I thought the plot was written by a 10-year-old. I just pictured a 10-year-old writing with crayons. He's like, and then they're going to descend into the earth, and Kong's going to lead him there. Why? And he's going to roar, and he's going to sit in his throne, and then Godzilla's going to blast a hole to the earth, and the earth doesn't explode. And then they're going to fight, and then they're going to fight the bigger guy. Why? How's the villain the bad guy? He created Mechagodzilla to protect human beings from these giant monsters that are fighting on their cities, killing everybody. Did you see what happened between Godzilla and Kong? There are people in the city. I know we don't care about the people, but that was 9/11 times 10 with these two fighting. this guy's giant thing was gonna stop these guys from fighting. I'm like, a Mechagodzilla. I'm like, that sounds like a reasonable thing. The journey to the center of the earth. It's a movie. When they go in their little spaceships, because I don't know where we have spaceships now. 2014, we don't have spaceships, and then a few years later, we have fucking spaceships from Tron. We fly through a tunnel system, which I don't understand why we needed Kong to lead them there. I don't get it. I'm like, you built a tunnel, you already know where to go. They went through a portal, like something out of Interstellar. And it's like they went through space and they got stretched out by gravity, and they landed in this alternate world that has no sun but is all lit up. And I'm just thinking, okay, so you have to go through a portal to get here, like it's another dimension or something. But then Godzilla is up in Hong Kong or Tokyo or some shit, and he just blows a hole to the center of the planet. What happened to the portal? I thought you had to go through a portal. What was that portal thing? Made no sense. I also don't understand how they made Mechagodzilla. They made Mechagodzilla using psychic powers from King Ghidorah? What? How does that work inside a robot? And they like unplugged him and it still worked. I don't understand how that works. Mechagodzilla made no sense. And they downloaded the energy signature from the center of the earth, like Godzilla's like fire breath thing. They had to go to the center of the earth to get that, and they like downloaded it like it was an app. And all of a sudden Mechagodzilla has it. The plot is so stupid in this movie. All these movies, the plot's incredibly stupid. Like the last one, they revived Godzilla's heart by shooting with a nuclear bomb. Just say that to yourself. We brought something back to life by hitting it with a nuclear bomb. This one, they bring him back to life by electrocuting him with some engine of a space car. These things don't make any sense. And now, I know they don't have to make sense, but you cannot give me Gareth Edwards' 2014 Godzilla, where that felt real. It felt like it could have been real. This felt like a natural event somehow, because it was directed with gravitas and suspense and horror. Remember that? And them diving through the clouds with that great horror, like just opera music. And he lands and he looks up and you just see like the lightning flash, and in the dust is this massive Godzilla. It was fantastic. You can't give me a story like that, a plot like that, even though it's not some brilliant plot or anything, but in comparatively, and then give me this. So I'm comparing to that. I know where they were, and I watched them just peter down in logic. So overall, this movie left me feeling underwhelmed. I thought it was gonna be better. The human characters, Millie Bobby Brown, conspiracy guy who felt like he was the black dude from Transformers 1 who's eating the donuts and freaking out, and a fat kid from We're Gonna Hunt for the Wilder People. Their thing in the movie is so inconsequential to the entire movie. Like, they have no actual function in the movie. And then when it ends and she runs to Kyle Chandler, I'm like, why are you getting a paycheck for this movie? You're not in it. I did like the little girl talking to Kong. I thought that was cool. Overall, underwhelmed. I'll put it in like the C- range. I was entertained by the things that you're supposed to be entertained by, like the fights. It certainly gives you enough of that to be satisfactory. But it's still overall just a brainless movie to me. So, give it back to the first guy. And bring Bryan Cranston back. Let's restart it with him and that guy. Subscribe.